Wike and Fubara'S camp clashes over Abuja protest claims as Rivers State politics heats up. Hello viewers and welcome to InfoGist TV. Nyesom Wike's Loyalist group, Wike Generation Next, has made some serious allegations against the Rivers State Governor Similayo Fubara. They claim that Fubara is misusing state resources to fuel protests in Abuja, and that these protests are not only aimed at Fubara'S own government, but also at President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. In a video statement posted on Channels TV, group leader Okazo Paz revealed that the planned protest is set to take place within the next few days. This development is likely to escalate tensions between Wike supporters and Fubara'S administration. Mr. Paz said it has been uncovered that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Siwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will not be spared by the rented protesters. We have it on good authority. The governor, through his surrogates, held a clandestine meeting with the leaders of these groups in Abuja on Thursday with our resource as scarce resource meant for the development of Rivers State, which was given to them to mobilize for protests. Reacting an aide to the state governor, Achona denied that his principal is behind any protest in Abuja as alleged by Wike supporters. He said in his words, "I want to tell Nigerians that Rivers State Governor does not have anything to do with any purported protests. We tell all Nigerians to sit down and relax and see how one man, because of selfish interests, wants to push the state into hardship." The ongoing feud between Nyesom Wike and his successor, Similayo Fubara, in Rivers State is getting increasingly intense. Their conflicting political interests have been at odds since 2023, and despite President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's intervention, the issues remain unresolved. Fubara recently said he publicly pleaded with Wike in October to relinquish control and allow peace to prevail in the oil-rich state. "There is nothing I have not done on this earth for peace to reign. I can tell you the numbers of times I have knelt down to beg that let's allow this issue to go. I have done everything," Fubara said. When asked what his message to Wike would be if they met, Fubara said, "I will tell him, Wike, that it has gotten to a point where he needs to let go. We need peace in this state. You do not necessarily need to win all fights. At times, you just let go for the sake of the good people of Rivers State and the love that you have always professed for the state. We need to secure the state. Fubara will leave tomorrow. Who knows who is going to come? It might be through him or another person, but we need to secure the state." Reacting to these claims, Wike said the governor lied about kneeling down to beg him. Meanwhile, the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project (SERAP) is calling on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to intervene and prevent the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, and Nigeria's 36 governors from undermining the authority of the National Judicial Council (NJC) and court heads. Specifically, SERAP wants the president to stop them from influencing judges through gifts of cars and houses. In the open letter dated November 9, 2024, and signed by SERAP Deputy Director Kolawole Aluwadere, the organization said such practices are clearly antithetical to the constitutional principles of separation of powers, checks and balances, and the rules of law, and may create the perception that the judiciary is subservient to the executive. SERAP also urged him to direct the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Mr. Lateef Fagbemi, as a defender of public interest, to challenge in a court the constitutionality and legality of the practices by members of the executive of giving cars and houses to judges in Abuja and across the states. Politicians ought to keep their hands off the judiciary and respect and protect its integrity and independence. Politicians must treat judges with dignity and respect. SERAP said that the Nigerian Constitution and international standards make clear that the judiciary is neither subservient to the executive nor the legislature. The letter copied to Ms. Margaret Satterthwaite, United Nations Special Rapporteur on the Independence of Judges and Lawyers, reads in part, "Undermining the fundamental principles of separation of powers risks constraining the ability of the judiciary to act as a check on the executive. SERAP urges you to substantially improve fundings for the judiciary to enhance their working conditions, welfare and pensions through existing constitutional arrangements and mechanisms to hold the independence and autonomy of the judiciary and to protect judges from executive interference. Your government has the constitutional and international obligations to promote public confidence in the judiciary and safeguard the rule of law. We would be grateful if the recommended measures are taken within 7 days of the receipt and/or publication of this letter. If we have not heard from you by then, SERAP shall consider appropriate legal actions to compel your government and the Attorneys General of the 36 states to comply with our request in the public interest." SERAP said the gift of cars and houses to judges by members of the executive in the Federal Capital Territory and across several states appear to take place without following any constitutional or procedural process, which may have a chilling effect on the rule of law and access to justice and effective remedies. It said that according to reports, the Federal Executive Council FEC recently approved the construction of 40 houses in Abuja for judges of the Federal High Court and the Court of Appeal. Several of Nigeria's 36 states governors, including Abia, Benue, Cross Rivers, Delta, Imo, Kogi, Lagos, Oyo, Osun, and Rivers, also reportedly routinely engaged in the practices of giving cars and houses to judges in their states. Also recall that, of course, Wike does seem to lose any case, and it's unusual for a person to always win all his cases, whatever the facts are, whatever the legal issues are. Speaking further, the legal luminary also argued that the court cannot stop Rivers State from receiving its federal allocations. According to him, federal allocations are a central tenet of Nigeria's federal system. He argued that halting the funds not only undermines the people of the River State but also creates an alarming precedent that could destabilize the country and undermine federalism. It will be recalled that Justice Joyce Abdul Malik of the Federal High Court in Abuja had last week Wednesday issued an order stopping the Central Bank of Nigeria from further releasing monthly financial allocations to River State government. Justice Abdul Malik held that since January, River State has received and spent allocations based on an illegitimate budget, describing this as unconstitutional aberration. Reacting, auditor said the federal allocations are at the heart of Nigeria's federalism. River State is not simply Governor Fubara'S or Mr. Wike, it's a federating unit with a constitutional right to these funds. Stopping these funds harms the people of the state. Clearly, the judge did not understand the essence of federalism and had no power. He could not make the order he made because River State cannot be a federating state without being entitled to receiving its share federal allocations. There is a clear distinction between the entitlement of a state to federal allocations and the subsequent appropriation of such funds based on a budget passed by the state assembly. The money cannot be stopped. The money does not belong to Fubara'S. The money belongs to the people of River State. The New Diplomat reports that Fubara'S and his predecessor Wike have been locked in a titanic battle for the control of the political structure of the state as well as its economic fortunes. The raging feud between the duo has triggered political turmoil in River State, culminating in conflicting and multiple court orders and polarization of the River State House of Assembly into two diametrically opposed groups, pro-Fubara'S and pro-Wike. In December 2023, we should recall that Fubara'S and Wike signed an 8-point plea deal purportedly to address the raging feud. The peace deal was signed at the presidential villa in Abuja after a meeting with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. However, since that development, the crisis in River State has continued unabated. The crisis in River State, auditor explained, centers on a high-stakes battle for political control between Governor Sim Fubara'S and his predecessor, now the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike. This conflict has broader implications as it raises fundamental questions about governance and the rule of law in Nigeria.